Hello, my name's Linda Smith and I'm an area demonstrator for NAFAS North Midlands. I'm going to do an autumnal design using an upcycled posy pad. I've levelled off the oasis, left space for new oasis, bound it with bubble pack, and then this is bubble packed with soft fabric. My design has 3 placements, and I'm going to begin by putting some liatris following the stems of the parsnip. Now, dried parsnip stems give you an amazing piece of plant material, and they're ridged, and when you dry them, or when they dry naturally, you never quite know what colour you're going to get. But it ranges from sepia to ochre to dark brown, and it is a lovely piece of plant material to use. The base is greened up with Mahonia, Heterohelix cristata and Rubus tricolour. And I'm actually using the new biodegradable Oasis foam, and my top tip for that is not to over soak it. So I'm following the vertical lines of the parsnip stems and strengthening them with the liatris. Any soft fabric will be appropriate for this design. I'll turn it round so that you can see it. And then into that I've got some vibrant orange gemini. Lovely autumnal colour and a perfect contrast to the purple. And I'm angling them in so that you can actually see the different facets of the flower. It's just really how they grow. And geminies these days are lovely, strong flowers. At one time we would have perhaps wired them, but now they have lovely turgid stems. Just taking them down through my design. Putting smaller ones in the base of the front arrangement. And the lovely thing about the rubus foliage is that you can use it in several different ways. You can either use it with the underside showing, which is a lovely silver colour, or you can use it with the glossy green and enjoy the vibrancy of the red stem if you're going to use that as well. So going into the final placement. Now, flower arrangers look for inspiration in all sorts of places, and the North Midlands area produces a fantastic publication called News and Views. Here we are, News and Views, an excellent read. It tells you all the things that are happening in the area, competitions, workshops, etc. And if you haven't been to an area event, just come along, because you'll get a very warm welcome. You'll meet like-minded people, and what's more, you'll learn how to create some lovely designs for your home. I'm now going to put in some double purple lisianthus. I'll turn my design round so that you can see it. And the purple lisianthus, of course, picks up the colour palette of the liatris. It gives me a different texture and form. And another vibrant colour. And the joy of this design is that although this is autumnal, you can change the colourways to reflect the season of your choice. And Lysianthus are just such wonderful flowers because you get so much on the stem. And really good value for money. They last well in cut flower designs in vases, and they do equally well in oasis. So a really good flower for you to put into your designs. And I'm just following the lines and the outline of the three placements, making a very tight triangle. Just angling them in, again, so that you get the different aspects of the flower. And another piece of plant material that I love using is buddleia. Now I know that is much maligned, but the dried seed heads give such a lovely texture. And that's going to bring the colour of the fabric up into my finished design to create the colour harmony. And you can spray buddleia. If you spray it with flat white, first of all, that prevents the seed head taking up lots of colour. So it's like an undercoat, if you like. And it's very, very useful for Christmas work because you get fabulous colours. Just putting my final flowers in. One more generally tucked right down in the base there. And that completes my first design. For my second design, I'm going to look at the soft colours of late autumn. The misty greys and mauves. And I've got my design in a metal container, and I'm going to use the amazing Memory Lane Rose because it just really opens out into those lovely misty colours of autumn. I've got a metal container, and in my container I've got flocked twigs, And I've got some dried fatsia leaves. Now, the fatsia leaves I've sprayed with silver and purple, very lightly, not heavy, just very lightly, just to take the harshness of the brown off. It's well worth, when you're tidying your garden, to have a look and see if you've got any dried fatsia leaves, because they do make an excellent piece of plant material. And if you haven't got a fatsia bush, find a friend who has, and you can offer to tidy up their garden. I've also put some burlap fabric into this design so that I can make some loops and create a different texture. And again, that's sprayed with the Oasis spray. Just look at that rose, absolutely stunning. Now the loops are quite easy to make. All you do is take a piece of fabric, scrunch it up, take a wire, wind it round the base, pull that down and twist. Or you can make a simple ribbon loop if you don't want to go along with that idea. But I just love the convoluted surface that this gives you. And of course, if you haven't got a lot of foliage at your disposal, this sort of design is just an absolute boon. Just turn that round. I'm using flocked twigs, but you could use any lichened twig to give you the texture, and that's the fatsia leaf when it's sprayed. And I noticed when Memory Lane roses were coming out in another design I did, you can almost see the veins in the petals, and they stand up, and they don't look real, they're just like porcelain, an absolute joy to see. So I'm going to pop this last fatsia leaf in. All these amazing twists and turns, and put in a loop to fill in. So a very quick, easy design to do, and if foliage is at a premium, then you really can create something from next to nothing. Try and get that last rose in there. And I've got 12 roses in this design. So turning it around, my final design. Thank you. Enjoy.